A Geelong local, Benjamin James Graham was drafted to the Cats at pick 40 in the 1992 preseason draft. His entire first season was spent in the Geelong reserves, where he was awarded their best first-year player at the end of 1992. Graham then played almost a second entire season in the twos before debuting for the Cats in front of 33,000 people in round 21 of 1993. It was not until 1995, however, that his career took off. Standing at 193 centimetres, Graham's greatest strengths were his versatility and a booming long kick that was utilised in key position roles at either end of the ground. In attack, Graham became known for kicking goals from 60 metres out, and in defence, one swing of the boot would launch the Cats halfway up the ground, including a famous 105-metre barrel past the centre circle of Kardinia Park. By the end of 1995, Graham had truly solidified his spot in the Geelong side, earning himself the Most Improved award and a place in the Cats' grand final team. Geelong, however, were defeated by 10 goals by a dominant Carlton outfit, who had only lost 2 games all year. As his prominence in the Geelong team increased, word of Graham's incredible left boot spread halfway around the world, and in 1997, he was invited to a secret tryout with the New York Jets NFL side, who thought his unique kicking skills could make him a valuable punter. At first, the meeting did not go as planned. Graham had never punted an NFL ball, and was struggling to achieve the same lofty standards he had set with a Sharon in hand. Trying to find his rhythm, he showed them a few kicks with an Aussie rules ball, before transferring his AFL technique onto the NFL ball. The Jets were so impressed they offered him a 3-year deal to leave Geelong then and there. If he said yes, Graham would find himself attending the Jets' preseason training camp just 2 weeks later. While he was incredibly interested in the idea of playing in the States, Graham put any talks of pursuing an NFL career on hold until he felt he had gotten everything out of his AFL career. In the years that followed, he continued to be an important pillar of the Geelong team. In '99, he won the Cats' Best and Fairest and earned selection in the International Rules team. His status at Geelong continued to grow, and in 2000, he became the club's captain and was runner-up in the Best and Fairest. Graham served as the Geelong captain for 3 years, giving up the position at the end of 2002, and in 2005, more than 10 years after his AFL debut, Ben Graham surprised many by ending his 219-game career. Little did the Australian public know at the time, this was far from the end of his sporting journey. Interest from the Jets had not waned, and Graham had decided to pack his bags and try his luck in New York. Graham was first sent to school. Although he had always watched the Super Bowl as a kid, his NFL instinct needed to be built from scratch, learning plays, understanding his teammates, and what his own roles and objectives were on the field. On September 11, 2005, Graham made his debut for the Jets in a match against the Kansas City Chiefs, this time in front of 78,000. He set a new record for the oldest rookie to feature in an NFL opening day at the age of 31, but more notably, he became just the second person to play in both the AFL and the NFL, after Eagles and Demons player Darren Bennett, putting on display the drop punt kicking style synonymous with AFL, but a relatively new feature to the American game. After silencing the critics in 2005, 2006 saw Graham hit a 69-yard punt that would remain the longest of his career, and after being placed in the Jets leadership group, he signed a lucrative 6-year contract. It was rumoured to be worth almost $6 million Australian dollars, an amount just shy of an entire AFL team's yearly players' payments at the time. Graham proceeded to be a regular for the Jets, his reputation in New York even allowing him to appear alongside Elmo and Dorothy on an episode of Sesame Street. It was in 2008 that he was first introduced to the cutthroat nature of the NFL, and he was waived by the Jets on the 22nd of September, following a below-par outing against the Patriots. Interestingly though, Graham was re-signed by the Jets just 6 days later, without missing a game. His replacement, Reggie Hodges, had suffered an injury. Hodges would recover for the next game, however. so just 3 days later, Graham was released again. It was a complete shock. The New York media thought I was a scapegoat for an underperforming team. The cutthroat nature of the industry was fully realised at this point, and I thought my career was over. In October, Graham played a single match with the New Orleans Saints in London before being released at the end of the month, and it wasn't until December that a more stable position presented itself at the Arizona Cardinals. When the Cardinals faced the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship at the end of that season, Graham's opposing punter was ex-North Melbourne player Saverio Rocca. The winner of that match would progress to Super Bowl 43, guaranteeing that one of the two would become the first Australian to feature in what is undoubtedly one of the world's greatest sporting events. And with the Cardinals defeating the Eagles, they secured not only a date with the Pittsburgh Steelers on Super Bowl Sunday, but a place in history for Ben Graham. On Super Bowl Media Day, many of the 700-odd reporters were surprised to find both an Australian and a punter with his own booth. A humble but excited Graham told the press, "It's still a dream to me. I'm still pinching myself, and honestly, I still can't believe I'm in this position right now." While the Cardinals fell short to the Steelers, who became the first franchise in NFL history to win 6 Super Bowls, Graham still describes the game as the proudest moment of his sporting career. He played for the Cardinals until 2011, when he was released only to be re-signed yet again for a single game as injury cover. A month later, Graham was picked up by the Detroit Lions, where he was the first choice punter until a season-ending injury in 2012 saw him and the club reach a release settlement later that year, officially closing a historical career in the NFL. Today, Graham has returned home to the AFL and now holds the combined positions of Football Operations Manager and VFL General Manager at the Western Bulldogs, where he works closely alongside General Manager of Football Chris Maple to oversee the football department. While it isn't every Aussie kid's dream to sign a lucrative deal for an NFL club, Ben Graham displayed important lessons throughout his sporting career of passion, perseverance, and humility. Skills that are not only transferable across sport, but valuable life lessons to live by every day.